Hi, good morning. Welcome to Morris in the Mornings. Today I want to talk to you about something that really has me very seriously concerned. I think that the Republican Party is in the process of committing suicide, and it couldn't happen at a worse time. We have a president that is deforming the United States, and yet our own policies and our own programs are giving him a new lease on life and perhaps 4 more years permanently to change the United States of America. I'm referring, of course, to the Medicare issue, which the Democrats have seized upon and demagogued and used to win an election in upstate New York this week, which the Republicans almost couldn't lose. It's a Republican district, almost 2-to-1 registration. There are very few of those in the country. And it even went for McCain against Obama. And yet the Democrats captured that seat, almost entirely by demagoguing the Medicare issue. I know there was a guy on the ballot who said he was from the Tea Party, and he got about 8% of the vote. But still, the Republican candidate got only 42 in a district which he should have gotten 65. What's causing this? Well, Ryan's budget proposal wants to transform Medicare to a voucher system, and ultimately that makes some sense. Just like with the prescription drug benefit. When we made it a voucher system, the insurance companies lowered the rates, it brought down the drug prices, and essentially set up a very workable program. But Ryan doesn't let his program take effect until 2022, 10 years from now. And the reason is that we don't have to make these changes in Medicare right now. Medicare is not in financial trouble right now. That's the truth, and we need to tell people about it. In the last 2 years, Medicare went up by only 7% a year. Now, Medicaid, medical care for the poor, that went up by over 50% in a 2-year period. And so did all of those other welfare entitlements like food stamps and unemployment insurance and earned income tax credit and Section 8 rent subsidized housing. All of that stuff skyrocketed with more than a 50% increase. When we talk about the need to control entitlements to reduce this budget deficit, those are the programs we should be aiming at, not Medicare and Social Security. And the reason is very simple. It stands to reason. Look, I'm 64 years old. I was born in 1947. I'll turn 65 next year. And a whole bunch of my cohorts are going to begin to get into the 60s and early 70s and turn 65 over the next decade. But they're not going to be a large number of them until the end of the decade. And that's why even Ryan doesn't put his Medicare program into effect for 10 more years. So what, are the Democrats going to win 10 years of elections off the prospect of cuts in 2022? Are we going to lose 12 and 14 and 16 and 18 and 20 because in 2022 we might have to make cuts in the Medicare program? It's absurd. And how can any of us predict, particularly not in a field like medicine that changes every year and basically every month and every day, how can we predict what medical costs are going to look like 10 years from now? With new technology, with genetic medicine, with nanotechnology, it is nuts to believe that right now we can make an accurate projection of what the situation is going to be like in 10 years. And yet the Republican Party is literally facing the possibility of losing the election that's coming up over the Medicare cuts. So please, let's make the key point and send this video to all of your friends so that all of us get it. Medicare did not cause this budget deficit. Social Security did not cause this budget deficit. Social Security went up by 6% a year, Medicare by 7% a year. Normal routine government spending, the Department of Energy, the Department of Education, the HUD, and all of those agencies, that's what's causing the deficit. That went up 41% in 2 years. And as I said, welfare-based entitlements like Medicaid went up by 54% over 2 years. The solution to our immediate budget situation, to bring this $1.6 trillion deficit down to 7 or 8 or even 600 billion, so it's only about 3% of our economy, the gold standard in this thing. The key to that is to take Medicaid, roll it back to 2008 levels, and block grant it to the states. And do the same with food stamps and with all of the other welfare entitlement programs, and to freeze domestic discretionary spending at 2008 levels. Monkey with Medicare in 2022. Don't monkey with it now, and don't pay the political price we have to pay. You know, what Obama did was he spent all this money, dug this deficit, and then told the country we have to reform entitlements to be able to balance the budget. And he knew that what would happen is the Republicans would rush in with their plan to cut Medicare and he could get reelected using it. Well, for goodness sakes, folks, the graveyards are full of politicians that tried to cut Medicare. Began with Hillary Clinton in '94, Newt Gingrich in the Republican Congress in '96, and Nancy Pelosi in 2010. Why are we so anxious to lay our bodies in that same graveyard? Thanks for listening.